Today on the Morning Edition, the House of Representatives is in the hot seat now that the Senate has passed the president's much-desired tax and spending bill. Will it get the green light ahead of Trump's July 4th deadline?
Plus, deadlock in the Diddy sex trafficking trial this morning. Another day of deliberation after the jury said they couldn't reach a verdict on what analysts consider the most complicated charge. And later,
they honestly don't care who you are. They just care that you're doing something good for them.
The power of music. A 12-year-old boy in Denver is using his talent to comfort some of the city's most vulnerable animals as the Morning Edition starts now. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up and joining us here on this wonderful Wednesday.
I love that. Music really is just like healing for the soul sometimes.
Yeah, it's like the universal language. No matter what it is, it always kind of brings people together.
Even if it's Mariah Carey?
No, well, not in July. Not in July.
I had to throw that in there. The question is, could we hit 70 today?
I hope so.
We have that potential. We did see temperatures yesterday across South Central warming. Here in Anchorage, we officially hit 69 yesterday, but we did see parts of the valley climbing into the lower 60s or lower 70s. And today we will see a decent opportunity for many inland locations to make a run near 70 degrees. We are seeing a beautiful start to the morning, some mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. We've got those temperatures. They're sitting at 51 degrees. Those winds remaining fairly calm to start off the morning. Like we did see yesterday, be prepared for those winds to increase later this afternoon into the evening hours. Well, we could once again see winds of about 20 to 30 miles per hour. We've got 40s and 50s across South Central. Really inland locations holding on to that better shot of seeing some sunshine as you head out towards the coast. We're still holding on to some of those mostly cloudy to overcast skies, as well as out towards Talkeetna with a temperature of 57 this morning. Now, Talkeetna will hold on to that cloud coverage for a good portion of the day, but still expecting the potential that we could see some partly sunny conditions building back in across northern parts of the Susitna Valley. It is quiet to start off the morning. We are going to be watching this band of some rain that's pushing out of the Alaska rains that will lead to the potential for some increasing rain showers out towards parts of the Copper River Basin throughout the day. And, of course, some thunderstorm development looking possible later this afternoon into the evening. Still holding on to that rain out towards Bristol Bay, as well as the Alaska Peninsula and parts of Kodiak Island. That will continue to fizzle out throughout the day. And we've seen some of that heavier activity bringing up to 0.6 of an inch of rain out towards Kings Salmon, nearly 1/4 of an inch out towards Kodiak. The rest of the state largely has been on the dry side, but we will still see some isolated activity out towards southeast. Coming up, though, we'll be talking about those red flag conditions across the state. We're heating up, and we've also got the potential for some wildfire growth. We'll have more on that in that 7-day forecast coming up.
In our top story, the House is working on the president's sweeping budget bill after the Senate narrowly passed it yesterday.
Mainstream Republicans, fiscal conservatives, and Democrats have different takes on the legislation. Amy Kiley reports on how they argue it would help or hurt Americans.
We remain optimistic we're going to land this plane, so stay tuned.
House Speaker Mike Johnson says his chamber will vote on President Donald Trump's budget bill tomorrow at the latest. Trump says he wants to sign it by Independence Day Friday.
This bill has something for everybody.
Most Republicans praise the bill for its tax breaks, like extending 2017 cuts, upping the child tax credit, raising some standard deductions, and temporarily easing taxes on tips and overtime. The Congressional Budget Office estimates it could add trillions to the deficit.
We're adding debt to our children.
It's unclear if fiscal conservatives can stomach that, and Republicans need all but 3 House votes to pass the bill.
My colleagues in the Senate failed us.
The Tax Policy Center estimates 60% of the 2017 tax cut money goes to the wealthiest 20% of households. It says their average break is $12,500. For the middle class, it's $1,800. Households earning $35,000 or less get an average of $150.
Republicans are not the party of working class Americans. They are the party of the wealthy, the well-off, and the well-connected.
The CBO estimates the Republican bill will cause millions to lose health insurance. It also would make it harder to get food stamps.
And all of this to provide massive tax breaks to their billionaire donors.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Senators Lisa Murkowski and Dan Sullivan both voted yes Tuesday, but with a noticeable difference in tone over what the big, beautiful bill will specifically mean for Alaskans who receive SNAP and Medicaid benefits.
We have provisions in this that, particularly in terms of
Medicaid spending, rural hospital spending, that I think we're going to have a significant increase. Like I said, at a minimum, about $200 million a year for our state.
Senator Murkowski said in a statement she secured help to ease some of Alaska's burden for SNAP and tax cuts for Alaska's fishing villages and whaling captains. Murkowski also described in a statement that her vote was one of the hardest votes she has ever taken during her time in the Senate. Senator Rand Paul from Kentucky called Murkowski's vote a bailout for Alaska at the expense of the rest of the country.
When people suggest that federal dollars go to one of our 50 states in a, quote, bailout, I find that offensive. I advocated my state's interests. I will continue to do that, and I will make no excuses for doing that.
The House is set to take up the latest Senate-passed version of the massive GOP spending package as soon as today.
Alaska's Attorney General's office is encouraging 23andMe users to review their data privacy setting ahead of a transfer of all consumer data to a new nonprofit. The move follows a ruling by a federal bankruptcy judge approving the sale of 23andMe to TDEM, a medical research nonprofit. The District of Columbia and 26 states, including Alaska, settled with TDEM as part of the ruling to implement data privacy provisions for consumers. TDEM will only be able to use DNA information that users have authorized for research purposes through 23andMe, and the transfer of information is expected to go through the evening of July 7th, which is next Monday.
This kind of data is extremely sensitive, right? Your genetic data doesn't just reflect you, it reflects your parents, your children, your relatives. And unlike your credit card number or even your social security number, it can't be changed.
If you have a 23andMe account and have submitted DNA data, here are some of your options. You can always log into your account and request to delete your data immediately. If you never authorize your data to be shared for research purposes, it will be deleted by TDEM in 12 months. You can also find instructions for deletion on our website.
Now to the latest on the Bear Creek fire burning in the interior. The number of structures affected continues to rise.
One resident was gathering his belongings when the Bear Creek fire rushed onto his property. Brent Weber says he tried loading stuff on his four-wheeler, but the fire was moving too fast. Fortunately, Weber escaped with his life, but his home and 2 rental cabins were wiped out. Nick Clegg Sr. and his wife Kathleen had also built their cabin in the area. They were safely evacuated, but their home burnt to the ground.
We've kind of been lulled into sleep a little bit, I guess you would say, because we've really kind of thought we were fortunate that it happens to other people. It doesn't happen to us. And now it did.
Denali Borough Mayor Chris Knoll expects the number of structures destroyed to rise. Meantime, fire crews are concentrating on the northeast border and around the Parks Highway.
Some much-needed relief for crews battling the 4,000-acre Nelchina Glacier fire. Recent rainfall is helping slow the flames, giving firefighters a critical window to make some progress. Firefighters are now on the ground working to reinforce containment lines. The Division of Forestry also wants to remind drivers this holiday week to use extra caution between mile markers 126 and 138 along the Glen Highway.
As these wildfires are forcing many families from their homes, local restaurants are stepping up in a big way to help those displaced. Frozen Smoke Barbecue is running a program for customers looking to help wildfire victims and first responders. Anyone can donate money towards a gift card for those in need. So far, the community has donated $3,000 to the card, and families have made use of the program, getting a warm meal or ordering food to bring down to Healy as that community deals with the Bear Creek fire.
We have people coming in that don't even really get food, but they're donating to this. Or I see people walking around and they'll hand me cash saying, hey, put this on your gift card. So I always try to wear my Frozen Smoke shirt so people can find me and donate, and it all goes on the card. And it's been overwhelming, and it's just very grateful. This is all for the community.
Jones says those looking to donate can do so during the restaurant's hours when they're open Thursday to Monday or in person in the community. He plans to keep the program running through the wildfire season.
A piece of city property in downtown Anchorage is getting a fresh start.
As Lauren Maxwell reports, the 15-acre site at 3rd and Ingra has gone through some changes over the years, but will be the future site in revitalizing the city.
Decades ago, this piece of property housed the original Alaska Native Hospital. And as recently as 2 summers ago, there was a sprawling homeless camp here. But on Tuesday, the mayor joined others to break ground on a new project. The downtown property will be redeveloped into a fancy RV resort. Called Denali View, plans call for more than 100 spaces with amenities like a playground, pickleball courts, and trails. Supporters say there's nothing like it in town.
There's no place really for you to bring your $150,000 motorhome and stay in a place with a laundromat and a restaurant and a general store and a clubhouse and all of these amenities. They're just not available anywhere in Anchorage.
The original plan called for building housing on the site, but the ground is too unstable. Instead, the resort will include gardens and a memorial to Alaska Natives who were former patients here.
So many people have had children born here. So many people have had their grandmother pass away. So many people have had their lives saved on this site. I just think it's important for us to recognize all of the history that is here already and use that history to hopefully bring us all back together.
People who live and work nearby say they're thrilled to see the project finally take shape.
The site's already been sitting vacant for nearly a quarter century. You know, as a community, we don't want to wait anymore.
They're applauding what they see as a positive change. The hope is to begin construction sometime this year and have the entire resort open in 2028. For Alaska's News Source, I'm Lauren Maxwell.
Well, just in time for the holiday weekend, the southbound Knik River Bridge reopens today, and there will be no construction work starting tomorrow through Sunday, July 6th.
Work will pick back up on Monday, July 7th as crews continue to work on the bridge. As construction wraps up, drivers can expect single-lane closures during the week and on weekends.
Coming up, growing food in Fairbanks might sound like a task, but students across the interior are learning how it's done.
In this week's Arctic Gardens, one organization is helping the next generation grow with a purpose.
Are you ready for the return of the 70s? That will be possible today across parts of South Central, but also watching the chance we could see some localized areas of thunderstorms. I'll have more on that. But first, sunrise, 4:29 in Anchorage, 3:58 in Juneau. Your full forecast is next.
Good morning, everyone. We are back here on a Wednesday.
Yeah, just 2 more days until the 4th of July. And Aaron, it sounds like we might be getting warmer and maybe some sunshine.
Yeah, we're really going to see some of that warmth gripping the interior, where we're going to see temperatures easily climbing into the mid to upper 80s here across South Central. We've got a decent chance for those temperatures to warm into the 70s. Those clouds broke yesterday afternoon, and that is paving the way for a gorgeous day across the region. You can see a beautiful sunset yesterday evening. They're still holding on to some cloud coverage this morning, but largely just seeing mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. And we're going to see those temperatures once again warming well into the upper 60s and lower 70s, with the exception of coastal regions, which will likely stay in the low to mid 60s for most of the day. So looking at what we typically see as we close out June and welcome in July, you know, we've been hearing many people, I liked last year better than this year, and then vice versa. I've heard some say I like this year better than, or this year better than last year. Where a normal June, right around 63 degrees, and you can see we typically see about 4 days during the month of June where those temperatures warm into the 70s. So far this season, we've only seen 2. Last year, we actually saw 5 days by the end of June when those temperatures warmed into the 70s. And it was also fairly wet this year compared to what we did see last year, over an inch of rainfall, which is what we typically see for the month of June. And we did see about 7 days during the month of June where those where the rain showers did stick around. So in terms of what we saw last year and this year, this June actually was a bit on the cooler side and wetter conditions, as last year was a lot warmer. And we are going to begin to tap into some of this warmth this week as we do have that ridge of high pressure to the north that's going to continue to strengthen. It is going to slowly shift to the south, so we will see some influence here in South Central, but largely expecting most of the impacts of that ridge to stay to the north. And we are going to continue to see these temperatures warming as we lead up to your July 4th. Still holding on to areas of low pressure that's going to sweep through parts of the Aleutians. It's going to keep that active weather with us, but in terms of that high pressure system, what this generally means for us, coast with that high pressure in the upper levels of the atmosphere. This leads to sinking air. As sinking air compresses, it dries out. That also leads to a lack of cloud development. This also leads to lower relative humidity values. And when you have lower relative humidity values, that promotes that possibility for wildfire growth, as well as some hot, dry, and windy conditions, which we will see through parts of the interior today. Holding on to some rain showers out towards Kodiak, as well as southwest Alaska. Most of south central will continue to stay on the dry side. We are watching this band of some showers that's going to be pushing into parts of the Copper River Basin through the morning hours. That will quickly taper off. And then later this afternoon into the evening, we can see parts of the Mat-Su Valley seeing the potential for some isolated thunderstorm development. So we will see some increasing clouds later this evening for parts of the valley. And don't be surprised if you hear some rumbles of thunder and see some lightning strikes. Here in Anchorage, we will be on the drier side, and we'll continue to hold on to mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. Those temperatures easily warming, upper 60s to near 70 degrees with mostly sunny to partly cloudy conditions to be expected. You can see out towards southeast, upper 50s, lower 60s with just some isolated showers sticking around in the forecast. That 7-day here across south central showing 70 today, 68 Thursday, then slowly cooling off, and we will watch a chance for some showers as we welcome in the weekend with a bit more cloud coverage.
Being well into summer now, hopefully your garden is thriving. But what do you do with all those delicious harvests at the end of the season?
As Alex Bangle reports, along with eating and sharing them, well, you could even earn some money off of them. Here's this week's Arctic Gardens.
This summer, the Fairbanks Soil and Water Conservation District is taking students to farms and gardens around the interior to learn how to grow for market.
Whether they want to take it to a large farm scale or just a scale enough that they can sell some stuff at the farmers markets that are around.
The Alternative Fairbanks Farm and Educational Cooperative Training, or AFFECT program, now in its 4th year, gives students hands-on experience gardening in an Arctic environment.
Our climate is different than any other place. Learning some of those techniques for managing waiting till the ground is thawed. How are you gonna deal with it melting permafrost if you have that in your field? You can learn from our local farmers so much better than trying to figure it out from a book.
From challenges to lessons learned the hard way.
The whole idea behind AFFECT was to increase our farmers and people knowing how to grow their food.
Prospective students must apply and interview for the course, which only has room for around 15 participants a year.
Unfortunately, we had to turn some really good folks away. I wish we could have taken everybody.
Joining from a variety of different skill levels.
The idea is taking gardening to a profitable basis.
This year's course started in late May and runs through late August. Alex Bengal, Alaska's news source.
To see all of our archived Arctic Gardens stories, head on over to our website and click on the Arctic Gardens tab on the right-hand side of the screen.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcasts from Alaska's news source automatically and stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.